Hello guys, this is Yara here, and this is the hottest topic at the moment. BANLIST season is around the corner. It's like about a month away when the new BANLIST is gonna drop. So I thought I'd give my 2 cents of what I think the cards that are gonna get hit are. I did one like this in the previous BANLIST, and I got a lot of the guesses correctly, and that's because I try to stay up to date with the meta as much as possible, and I try not to be biased. I played close to more than 20 decks just these ban lists, so I try to stay as objective as possible. So these are gonna be the cards that I think are gonna get hit, so let's get started. So on the ban section, before we get started, I have a lot of cards in this section, and before you tell me like I don't think Konami's gonna ban that many cards, that I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, they've done this in the past. They did this after the Eternal format. They banned a whole lot of cards, and Konami usually likes to do this whenever they want a fresh new start. We've had a pretty stale format this year. We've had repeat decks topping left and right, so I think Konami may want to clean things up a bit. So this is gonna be the cards that I think are gonna get banned in this January 2022 ban list. So first of all, we have Imperial Order. This is an auto win card. It's a Saki one-off. You can't even prepare for it because it's limited, so you're not gonna see it in all your games, and when you do see it, it hits you out of nowhere and you just kind of lose. And then if people tell you, oh, just main deck the Cosmic Cyclone or the Twin Twisters, well, you have to draw that, and if you don't draw that, you kind of lose the game, especially if you have a handful of spell cards. So I don't think Konami likes those auto win cards, and this is one of the few auto win cards still left in the game, and that's why I think it's gonna get banned. I think the time is coming soon. Another one of those auto win cards is Mystic Mind. Usually, even if you set up a board with a couple of negates, they bait out all your negates, then they activate Mystic Mind, and then you just kind of lose the game. They can either do it by decking you out if you don't have a main deck out to Mystic Mind, or they can do it by just stalling until they have the correct cards. And once they finally have enough gas, they can either activate another field spell or get rid of it one way or another, and then just beat you. And then you can't pretty much do anything against it. Everybody has been calling for this card to get banned, and I agree. It's just those auto win cards that I don't think should be in the game, and they just promote like toxic playstyles like stalling or burning and stuff like that. So and then another card that I have right here is Arch Nemesis Protoss, and you may be asking, why is this card, why do you think this card is gonna get banned? Once again, it's an auto win card. Like, we are seeing a pattern right here. All these cards are auto win cards, especially Protoss against decks like Drytron, against decks like Phantom Knights. If your deck is like a mono attribute and Protoss is able to call it, you just kind of lose that game because they skip out your whole turn. And in today's meta, all you need is one turn to get OTK'd. So yeah, it's another auto win card. So Protoss, I 100% agree, should get banned. Then we have Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda. The only reason why I think Konami did not hit it in the past list is because they needed to sell some cards, because Destroy Phoenix Enforcer was about to be released. So, but now that Destroy Phoenix Enforcer came out already, I don't even think they need this card to be around anymore. So especially with all the fusion support that's gonna come out next year, this card is just absolutely crazy. We've seen it on decks like Drytron, on decks like Invoke Domatica Shaddoll, Sky Striker, where like you hand trap their 2 or 3 times, and then after that they just go into a Verte Anaconda, make Dragoon, make Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and then at that point you have like 1 or 2 cards left in your hand and you can't do anything about it. This card bypasses so many mechanics in the game. You can activate cards without paying cost, like discarding like Super Poly. You can activate 2 Shaddoll fusions in the same turn. I mean, this card is just absolutely insane, and it's about time that it gets axed. And I think a lot of people agree with this. A lot of people have said that Celestial should get banned. I don't think so. I think the main problem is Anaconda, and I think we should just get rid of it. And then we have Artifact Scythe. I used to think that Dagda was the problem because you can just easily trigger it, but then I realized the amount of cards that you're able to use to put Scythe out on the field. You can hard draw it, you can activate Ignition, you can just activate Sanctum. I mean, there's a lot of cards that you're able to use to put Scythe out on the field, and this can lock out the opponent from the extra deck for a whole turn, and that's like there's a pattern right here. All you need is one turn in today's meta to lose the game, so Scythe is the king of that. You have multiple ways to trigger it with Destroy Phoenix Enforcer and a lot of other ways, so I think Scythe definitely has to go. This card has no place in the game. But yeah, so these are gonna be all the cards that I see getting banned in the upcoming ban list. So now we're gonna go to the limited section. These are gonna be cards that I think will get put to 1, and I will explain why. We have Fractal. Everybody has been calling for Fractal. Everyone says Tri-Brigade was dominating. Fractal has a lot of uses, not just in the pure Tri-Brigade, but now in the Lyrilisk Tri-Brigade. This card is absolutely insane. It's able to put out a Nerval, and then Nerval's able to get you a draw. So, and not just that, but it has 2 effects. You can use both effects at the same turn. It adds so much consistency to the engine, and then once you pair it up with the whole Lyrilisk package, this card just becomes absolutely insane. I don't think it should get banned. I still think they should have their Fractal, but I do think it should go to limited just to reduce the consistency of the deck. So then we have Recital Starling. The usual combo relies on using 2 Recital Starlings per turn, then going into the Draco feature. So I don't think this should be the case. This is not a hard ones per turn. This card is not only a searcher, that's not a hard ones per turn, but it also enables the opponent to OTK you. So do I think it should get banned? That's debatable, but I do think it should at the very least be limited. This is like the Ben 10 of the deck, not a once per turn. So yeah, they're still gonna be able to go into their Draco feature, but at least they're not gonna get an additional search in the process. So yeah, I think Recital Starling should absolutely go to 1. Then we're gonna have Drytron Nova. Sure, they can still add 3 field spells and then 1 Nova if it gets limited, but they will lose to Joel harder, and they're not gonna be able to like top deck a Nova mid game, you know, just to be able to special summon 1 for free. So I don't think Drytron is one of the top 5 decks of the meta, but I do think that if all the top decks get hit, it will be one of the better decks after that. So that's why I think we should just check it a bit. And plus, nobody likes to play against a 6 or 7 negate deck. This is like a old school pendulum, so I think this is enough to check the deck. So we don't want to absolutely neuter it because it's not even a problem, especially if we ban Verta Anaconda. They're gonna be left out of that option to just, after they get Droll, they can just go into Verta Anaconda and then summon out Dragoon or Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. But I think just limiting Nova should be enough to check the deck. And then we have Nadir Servant and Fogblade. So Nadir Servant, of course, to touch the Dogmatica deck. This card is absolutely insane. It's a +2, is able to set up the Schism plus Winda. I mean, this card is just insane, and the fact that you can run 3 Nadirs, 1 Ecclesia, just limiting the amount of bricks in your deck, just adding pure gas to your deck, is absolutely insane. If we limit this, they're still gonna be able to go the other route, where it's 3 Ecclesias and 1 Nadir, but it's gonna be more bricks with Nadir. With 3 Nadirs and 1 Ecclesia, they are able to just cut on the amount of bricks that they have, and they just have pure gas at that point. So you may be wondering why Fogblade. Fogblade is the only card that prevents the Phantom Knight decks to play after they get Dark Ruler or after they get Dropleted. Sure, they can also pop Scythe, but since I talked about banning Scythe, that won't be an option anymore. So the way that they're gonna be able to play through a Dark Ruler no more or a Droplet is gonna be through multiple Fogblades. So I don't think this card should be banned. It's not that strong, but if you think about it, it is a Monster Reborn plus a Imperm like effect. So this card is insane. It's not a once per turn, so the negation effect. So I think limiting should be enough to check the deck, especially with the whole Brave tokens coming out in the near future. I do think limiting Fogblade should be enough to check the deck, at least for the time being. So, and then Meltdown along with Nadir Servant. Meltdown is just one of those cards that adds so much consistency to the deck. Basically, they have 3 Alistair, 3 Meltdown, 1 Terraforming, so they have 7 copies of Alistair, which is absolutely insane. And then they're adding copies of Small World, which is 3 additional copies of Alistair. Like, just think of the amount of Alistairs that you can have access to. We just need to cut down on some of that consistency. I agree that the other effect of Meltdown is absolutely insane. The one that you can't respond after a fusion is being performed is absolutely insane. But I think the main way that Meltdown helps is by being able to search Alistair. And I think by limiting it, it will cut down on the consistency. So I believe that these are all the cards that should get limited, enough to check the top decks at the moment. So now we're gonna go to the semi-limited. I think these are the cards that should be put to 2. And I only have 1 card, which is Salamangreat Circle. We've seen Salamangreat Circle at multiples in the OCG for a while now, so I don't think this card, I don't think the deck is as strong as it used to be. Even if we were to release every card, like we put Gazelle to 3 and Circle to 3, I still don't think it will be able to compete with the top decks right now. So I think slowly peeling back and just putting Circle to 2 right now, and if it still doesn't succeed the deck, then on the following list we can try to like up the Gazelle count or up the Circle count to 3. So for the time being, like right now, semi-limiting Circle is the right way to go. If there's any problems, we can always just limit it, or we can always put it to 3 in the following list. So this is the only card that I think belongs in this category, the semi-limited. So now we're gonna go to the unlimited. So these are the cards that I think should be at 3. And one, we have that Danger Nessie. Danger Nessie is crucial to the danger strategy. We're not seeing any decks that use this topping at the moment, so I think it's safe to put it at 3. Emergency Teleport. Virtual World is not topping at all in the events at the moment, even though it's semi-limited at the moment, and the Punk stuff is gonna be released soon, so Konami's gonna want to sell that as well. So that's why I think it's gonna be put to unlimited. But we have Quick Launch at 3, and this is literally the same thing as Quick Launch, so why not? I don't see any danger in putting this at 3. And then we have Performapal's Skull Crobat Joker. So once again, pendulums are not topping at all. I'm sorry, Triff. Pendulums are pretty much, they're not good at the moment. This is the only card that I think should be like peel off the list at the moment. Pendulum, I still think that Konami regrets making it. A lot of people quit the game when pendulums were released because it was an unfair mechanic. So I don't think any other cards should be released for the time being. But I think Joker to 3 is just a safe way to go. So, and now for my final point in this video, I have my wish list. These are cards that I wish would come off or would get touched. I don't think it's gonna happen, but this is like my wish list. So don't take these cards as my predictions. This is just my wish list. We have Hardport to 1. I mean, I would love it at 3, but I think 1 is a good start. I would be fine with like limiting Galatea or something along those lines, or limiting Girsu if you think it's gonna be that much of a problem. I think Verte should get banned, like I've mentioned in this video, so we don't have to run through the danger of having Hardport and Verte legal in the same format. So Hardport to 1 would be a great start. Then we have Spiral Resort to 2 or 3. We can start off at 2. Spirals are Brick City. I've made multiple videos on them. I've played them on ranked ladder, and they brick. So this deck is not. I don't think putting this to 2 would even help it that much. But I would be glad if Konami just like peeled it off a bit. Just put it to 2 to start off with. If there's no issues, then we can put it to unlimited. And lastly, we have Second Light. I think this is a beautifully designed card. It helps the decks that just want to have a bunch of monsters. Basically decks like Burning Abyss or Mermails. And we might see like some other decks just coming out of nowhere. So I think Second Light will be good. We can just unlimited. I don't see a problem with this. But like once again, this is my wish list. I don't want people to be like, oh, Yara thinks that this is definitely gonna be unlimited. No. These 3 cards are my wish lists. But yeah, that will wrap up the video. I want to know what your predictions / wish lists are on the comments below. I'm actually very interested. I read every single comment. So yeah, I will be posting more Dueling Book replays. I'll be posting more deck profiles in the future, so stay tuned. Please hit the like, hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel out a lot, and I will be catching you on the next video. Take care.